Welcome back to the Secret Underground Lair. So today I'm going to focus a little bit on cleaning up the top here, doing a little more sanding on that inside edge, and doing a little bit of repair work on this tear out that we had. So I have some ideas on what I'm going to do to fix that. Once that top is cleaned up the way we need it, a little more sanding, then I'm going to flip the piece over and we're going to do the back. So I'm going to take the whole thing apart right now and then work on that top, and we'll reassemble it a little bit later on and get the back cut and put in place. Then we have a real live cabinet. That's today's adventure. Okay, I've got our top now. The inside edges here are nicely sanded. Did a little bit of repair work on the tear out that we had, and I'll show that to you in just a moment. What I've got now is the back of the cabinet. That's some lovely maple 1/4 inch ply here, maple face there. So I've just set it up on the top of the cabinet. The back side doesn't look quite so nice as the front, but that's okay. This is against the wall. I've set up a guide here to help me with the fence, and I put some tape on here to reduce the tear out. So just gonna cut this piece off, and then we'll cut it to length, and then we'll cut the rounds. And then we should have a back that'll fit in place. So I'll set this up while I make this long cut with the circular saw. So cutting slowly and using the tape has really helped to reduce any tear out. A nice clean cut there. And that fits in beautifully. Perfect. Perfect. All right, I can now focus on doing this round. So I have put some tape over this corner, marked 5. It's actually 5 1/8. It's not 4 3/8. I forgot about the 1.5 inch facing. So just double check all the measurements. Good thing to do that. And I now just use my little compass to draw that arc. And we'll cut that out with the jigsaw. And we'll do the same thing on the far side. May require a little bit of an adjustment, but I think we can check to see if this is going to fit. And there's our fit on that curved corner. I'm okay with that. A little bit of a gap there, but that's just fine. We're well into the wood there, so I'm quite okay with that. Now we'll make that same curve on the far side. We are in. It's our curve cut on the sides. Now we just need to make one more cut across the back I'll use the circular saw for that and draw a straight line, clamp it up first. Get a guide on there. All right, I got the side taped up, fence in place, make the cut. Going to give that a light sand. Now we have a piece ready to install. The glue up becomes a bit of a challenge. So I have a real nice fit down each side. I'm happy with the way this fits around the corner. This is a good fit here. What I can see is that the table has, or the cabinet has racked a little bit. That side needs to go that way just a little. We're good fit on the far side, and when we get down to here, we are exactly, this is just really nicely flush. So we have our clearance for the baseboard across here. We're a little proud on the back here. That's because this side needs to come, this side needs to come this way just a little wee bit. Now, in terms of clamping and gluing this thing together, this will be a bit of a challenge. What I need to do, I think first, is focus on getting the top piece attached to the sides. Now this joint here is not going to be a particularly strong joint, just because it is a butt joint. However, what we have going for us is that the back will be attached to here and here. So we'll gain some strength in holding the top piece in place there. And on the front, we've got some facing that'll go all the way around, and it'll attach, of course, to the top and come down here and attach. So we'll have a good solid bind in this area here. Same thing on the other side. The center shelf is going to have to be glued in. Probably one of the very first joints to be done, and that's where we have to make sure that we have everything perfectly square. And you can probably sneak this piece in afterwards, but the bottom shelf and the anchor shelf are going to have to go in pretty much the same time. So let's get this straight. Top will go in first, then the anchor shelf, then the bottom shelf, then the back will go on. And at that point, we can flip it over and start working on the facing. So with that in mind, how do I get this piece tight up against this piece? And I'm going to do that with some winch straps. So I'll be back in a minute when I have those set up. Okay, so this is the mechanism by which the top here will be attached to the sides, or clamped in while the glue sets. There's a little bit of a gap in here, but again, as I say, this is it's an alignment joint. And the strength, or the keeping the top attached to the sides, will be done through the back and through the facing on the front. But I do want to get some glue in there just to seal it up as best as possible. The aligning pins will help a little bit, but yeah, that's how we're going to do this. So I'm going to loosen off these clamps and then smear a whole bunch of glue on here, and let's put it together. Okay, so we're going to call that. That is our top glued to the sides. Next challenge is going to be associated with the anchor shelf and the bottom shelf. First, a bite of lunch. All right, we've had these clamps on for a couple hours, a little over 2 hours. So I'm going to take these off. Then I'm going to lift up the cabinet just a little bit so I can slide a pipe clamp underneath here. We'll get a pipe clamp on the top. And we'll get another 2 down here so that we can glue the anchor shelf and the bottom shelf in place. Okay, so I got a clamp in place here. That's going to line up with the shelf, so that's in a good spot. Got a clamp here, and then I can set up my second clamp down on the very end here to glue the bottom shelf in place. Now I have one trick here that I need to be very careful of, and that is to get our anchor shelf sitting exactly right. I need it to be flush. The back edge of the shelf needs to be flush with the rabbet that we cut out in the back. Let me show you what I mean. So I have you situated in the cabinet itself. Here's the back edge of our anchor shelf. Here's the rabbet that we have in the back of the cabinet. And I need the shelf, this edge, to be flush with this rabbet. Now, to accommodate that, what I need then is a gap of 7/8 of an inch from the front edge of the cabinet to the front edge of that anchor shelf. Since this clamp, the front edge of the cabinet, is now resting on that bar clamp, I can find a piece of material 7/8 of an inch, and I can insert it between the bar clamp and the bottom of the shelf, or the front edge of the shelf, and that will get me flush. So I'll come back when I have that in hand. So to get my 7/8 clearance that I want, I'm using a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, just a cut off from here, and some playing cards. So 10 playing cards gives me 1/8 of an inch. That together gives me 7/8. Putting that underneath there gives me a perfectly flush joint. It's exactly what I want. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge as I take this piece out to glue it up and then get it back and get that piece in place, but we should be able to do that. I'm going to make sure I get the clamp positioned and ready to go, and I'll take this piece out and we'll glue it up, and we'll do our bottom shelf at the same time. cloth, wipe up some of that excess. Be right back. All right, with our shelves set, the clamp on the bottom, and I just took the clamps off the top, just briefly. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be laying some glue down all around our rabbet, across this shelf and here, and then we're going to set the top in, or the back in rather. And we'll nail that in. So this will be glued and nailed. Just go around, make sure that's set properly, and then we'll tack it in with the nail gun. All right, I just put a couple nails across here. I'm going to put in a couple more. Overall, I am really pleased with how that's the back is laying in here. It's just really, really good. Okay, I'm going to put the clamps back on, and then we'll nail all the way around. All right, there is our cabinet. Going to let the glue on this top set, and then we can stand it up. That's a major bit of work there. So I'll come back when that glue's set and we'll give it a stand and see what it looks like. And there is the cabinet standing up. You need to be able to stand back farther to get all of that, but that's our cabinet. Now I have a little bit of work to do. By putting in the top, I have a couple little glue runs. There's a couple up there on the top and a glue run there. So I'm just gonna try and clean those up. I got a couple underneath as well. So get rid of those glue runs, and then we should be ready for a final sand. Right, just finished up the cabinet. I got rid of a whole bunch of glue marks, or glue streaks, all along the top and down the sides. Insides, they're all on the inside. I put some filler in our join up there on the top, and on both the outside and the inside on both sides. So some up there and up there. A little bit of filler around the outside of the curve here, and over here, some filler around there, just to fill in the cracks. That really doesn't serve any purpose because that's going to be covered with some facing. But we'll leave this to set up overnight, and tomorrow we'll be facing, and if we can, rough cut of the doors. And that is a video for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next video.